Welcome to the NitWits, a weekly roundtable discussion on the Penn State Nittany Lions, now in its 28th season. Our panel features a longtime Penn State media and NitWits tag team, Neil Rudel of the Altoona Mirror and Mark Brennan of Lions 24/7 with Fight on State. And each week we welcome a former Nittany Lion as our special guest analyst. The NitWits are brought to you by Irwin Financial, Raymond James, a firm foundation for your financial future. By Reed and Solani Orthodontics, providing friendly, family-focused orthodontic care in Altoona, Bedford, and Huntington. By Kogan Electric, lighting the way for you. By Blair Candy Company, the one-stop shop for all your tailgating needs. Candy, snacks, paper supplies, and more. By Dorman's Jewelry, the answer is always Dorman's. By Harry's Construction, if you can dream it, we can create it. By DeLeo Games, serving the community since 1945. By Keller Engineers, delivering results, exceeding expectations. By Lions 24/7 with Fight on State, your online home for Penn State football and recruiting coverage. And by the Altoona Mirror, featuring Penn State Game Day every Friday and Penn State Extra every Monday.
What I'm doing, getting right to it. The money is talking, I'm flowing, it's coming in just how I drew it. Yeah, you know what it is. We doing it big. Look up, there is no limit, no, we cannot settle for this. Yeah, can't stop, nah, won't stop. Yeah, spin on live, you don't believe it, just watch.
Welcome to another edition of Nittany Nation Overtime. We are the NitWits. Neil Rudel, joined as usual by my partner Mark Brennan, and a special welcome in to Roger Corey, long-standing member of the Penn State Radio Network. Good to have you, Raj.
Good to be here, Neil. Mark, I always look forward to the invitation and always appreciate the hospitality.
Well,
Thank
now
you.
that we're on the other side of the stadium from you, Roger, we never get to see you, so it's good to actually see you here doing the show.
Thank you.
Penn State 34, Florida International 0. That may sound impressive on the scroll when you're looking through the scores late Saturday night, but for those of us that witnessed it, it was really anything but. I thought they took a step certainly sideways and a little bit backward after a more encouraging opener.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember a time where a 34-0 shutout was kind of looked down upon this much, but I think one of the issues was that there were certain problems in the opener, and you figured the old axiom about making the most improvement from week 1 to week 2 would happen for this team, and some of those things would be taken care of. And really, most of them weren't. I mean, there were a few more explosive plays, but not till later in the game. The red zone issues kind of were still there a little bit, and so some of those problems were persisting. The one thing that I look at that I think they really have to get tightened up is, I thought this was going to be one of their better offensive lines, and I think it still has the opportunity to be that, but to date it just hasn't shown it. It just hasn't taken a game and seized it by the throat and imposed its will on one of these overmatched opponents.
Yeah, guys, I think probably a problem yesterday was the O-line miscommunicating during a blitz package that they were throwing at them. I think with all the subs and all the reps that Coach wants his team to have right now, early on, I think probably they're in the same library. I think they have the same book. I think they're on the same page. I don't think they're on the same paragraph just yet.
Well, it kind of starts with the quarterback. They get the most credit and blame, and Drew took it. He clearly looked down yesterday, and he started out 1 for 5. They're 3-12 on third downs. That explains a lot of the game.
Yeah.
They weren't able to stay on the field long enough, but he just he didn't play as well as he did in the opener. He was off stride, off communication early, didn't have maybe quite as much separation at times as they want. So Yeah, I think you start there.
Yeah, he's typically very accurate, and to his credit, I mean, after the game, he owned it. I mean, he said he didn't play up to his standard. The play where he missed Nick Singleton, I mean, that's just you can't miss that play. I mean, it didn't end up being vital in that game, but that will be vital in a game. And when you're the level of quarterback that Drew Aller is, and you've played as much football, you can't miss that play. So he was tough on himself about that. And the one thing I worry about a little bit when I see the way he played after that particular play, he was really mad at himself. You look down at the sideline, and he was kind of. And that may seem like a good thing, but I think you need your veteran to be a little bit more smooth and not get that down after that sort of play. So was that an outlier? I think if you look at the body of his work, generally speaking, he's been very accurate, but the accuracy just wasn't there in that game.
Well, the crowd booed at that moment, and also, he said afterwards that he kind of got into his own head, that he has to make the easy throws easy, and he was very critical. He said he has to stop thinking too much.
Yeah.
What do you think he did, or who spoke to him at halftime to say settle in, settle down, and he came alive the second half? I thought he had a great second half.
Yeah, I mean, Danny O'Brien's the quarterback coach now, and he's a guy who's played a lot of football, obviously, at different places in college, and he went up to the CFL. And
Coach Chad Powers.
Yeah, he's been a really good sounding board, I think, for Drew Aller. And I think when they were allowed to expand the staffs and to get a guy like Danny O'Brien there, you've been around him, Roger. I mean, he's like a really measured guy, and I think he's a good voice to have in Drew's ear. But having said that, I mean, Drew Aller shouldn't need that against Florida International in a game where he should have been much smoother. And again, he was the first one to admit it.
Yeah, and the fact that he didn't play that well sort of cost Grunk a few more series that, you want to get him earlier in the game. Something you touched on, though, to me, the offensive line. Hey, not only 3 of 12 on third down, but they were 3 of 9 on third and fourth downs. And they had to go for it 4 times in the first half on fourth down. Against Florida International, you shouldn't even get to fourth down.
Well, and they gave up 2 sacks as well. And the other part of it is you have 2 running backs. I have no issue with Fat and Nick Singleton. I mean, both of those guys run hard and are tough. And if you look at Katron Allen, I mean, the yards he gets after first contact are just unbelievable. So it's not the running backs. That line, I agree with what Roger said. It looks like they're just not all in sync. And we'll have Goon on at some point to help us, work our way through this, because offensive line is kind of a unique thing. But I think they have to get there, and it's going to be really important to show that against Villanova before that off week in Oregon comes in here.
Okay, real quick, we'll translate the nicknames. Fat is Katron Allen. Goon is Keith Conlon. I guess everyone knows that.
Oh,
they're telling us we're going to take a break. We are.
Yeah.
And we're going to be back with some things we liked a little better right after this.
The NitWits are being brought to you by Irwin Financial Raymond James, a firm foundation for your financial future. By Reed and Salaney Orthodontics, providing friendly, family-focused orthodontic care in Altoona, Bedford, and Huntingdon. And by Kogan Electric, lighting the way for you.
You're watching Nittany Nation Overtime.
Welcome back. We'll get to our Nitwit of the Week later, because it's pretty historic what's going on with our standings early in the season. Defense pitched a shutout, and yet they allowed Florida International to be on the field for 34 minutes. So I think it was a little nitpicking a shutout, but so be it.
Well, to me, the thing that stood out is they only allowed 1 trip into the red zone. So I think that's a really good sign. I mean, there were times in that game, and they did it against Nevada as well, where they didn't have Zane Durant, or they didn't have Denai Dennis Sutton out there. And when the team drove down the field and got past midfield, they'd throw those guys back in there. and I think that's actually a pretty good sign. So that quarterback, to me, wasn't particularly accurate, but he had a lot of courage. He made a couple of nice throws. Didn't run really well, but I thought they had a good running game. But I thought overall, I don't know that you could be overly critical when you only allow one trip into the red zone. It was on their first drive. I thought both linebackers, Rojas and Campbell, played really well. And then DeLuca, obviously, on special teams had a block.
What do you see from their defense? Are you encouraged?
I'm very encouraged about this defense, and they're just getting started. I don't know if I don't know if Jim's opened up more technique or more plays for them to work on between now and listen to me looking ahead to Oregon.
How dare you?
I know, but there are a few wrinkles that I think that you're going to be seeing probably against Villanova. Not many, but enough. But I think the guys got to settle in and get their reps in together as one firm unit. Yeah, you're going to have a lot of subs this time of the year, as well you should. But they've got to find the secret ingredient, the secret come together of this defense. Deny Dennis Sutton, the guy's a beast.
Yeah.
And if he can get his teammates to play up more to his level, this defense is going to be real tough.
James said afterwards he doesn't think the defense is playing as fast yet as he thinks they need to, and some of that's the acclamation to Jim Knowles. We did see Coleman flash. Hey, Florida International, I was very impressed. You said they averaged 5 yards a carry on 23 rushes, and they made 3 or 4 first downs. So those are plus they got about 90 yards after the catch. I mean, I just didn't think the defense played as well as they're going to need to play.
Well,
you
yeah,
got
of
into
course.
the special teams on your blog, which I found some interesting. Yeah. Well, whatever you want to call it. You want to split hairs on that?
I don't even know what a blog is anymore.
Okay.
No, I mean,
You wrote something.
It was really strange. Special teams was so hard to grade because you have Gabe Nwosu just being unbelievable as a punter, but then otherwise, and I mentioned it with DeLuca blocking a punt, but then otherwise they were all over the place. I mean, I don't know. You have a block kick. You have 2 kickoffs out of bounds. What am I? I'm missing something. I mean, it's just you can't. Those are the kind of things that when you get into a game against a really good opponent, they are going to cost you. The penalty on the 2-point conversion. Those things may seem small, but Franklin was talking about it after the game. He was ticked about that. I almost said the wrong word. He was ticked about that. And those are the kind of things that could cost you games. So I thought this was going to be the positive segment, but
well, in some ways it was. I mean, last week we weren't sure about Riley Thompson versus Nwosu.
Yeah, I was wrong.
And he's the kicker, and he had pooched one down to the 2, which Collins did a great job, to get down there and catch. So there were some positives, but you expect a veteran kicker not to kick it out of bounds. So it was uneven performance.
Yeah, and that's where I guess that's to be expected early in the season. But again, you have guys who have been around. I mean, Gabe on the kickoffs, he's been doing that for a couple of years now.
Some quick hitters on personnel. Things are jumping out that maybe that you're looking for that maybe some other people haven't seen.
You mentioned Chaz Coleman. I love the fact that they got him in the game early. I thought he was playing with his hair on fire in the opener and just seemed out of control. And to get him in there early in the game, he did some really good things. And then obviously late in the game came through with a big play, and you're really seeing what his potential is all about. The offensive line going back, working in Cooper Cousins and TJ Shanahan. We were talking about it during the break a little bit with Roger. That could be why they're not gelling. Maybe you're playing 7 guys, and you're going to need guys as the season goes along. So I thought that was really key. And then Ross coming up and doing some really good things. That's not really a hidden personnel thing, but they didn't expect to have him at this level this soon. And I think if you pair him with Pena and Hudson and what they've done so far, I think it's been really good.
The one guy who's jumped out to me who seems to be a playmaker is King Mack.
Yeah.
When he's out there, big hits, returns, he's a guy that I think people want to see also.
I'm looking forward to seeing how the wide receivers develop more. It's good to see sharp, clean routes being run. and the two guys that we were talking about are just, they get it.
Yeah.
And they're going to get after it throughout the course of the season. I look forward to some good things in that room.
One other guy, Luke Reynolds.
Yeah.
Not only was he making catches, but Aller was looking to him at clutch moments. 4th down, I think 3 of his catches were for first down. So Luke Reynolds, to me, we knew that he was going to be good, but he's really stepping up. Dinkins, some iffy things, but all he does is catch touchdown passes.
Well, I agree on Reynolds. He had 7 catches. He looks like he is the guy who's.
Yeah.
Okay, another quick break, and we'll be right back on the NitWits right after this.
The NitWits are being brought to you by Blair Candy Company, the one-stop shop for all your tailgating needs. Candy, snacks, paper supplies, and more. By Dorman's Jewelry. The answer is always Dorman's. And by Harry's Construction. If you can dream it, we can create it.
You're watching Nittany Nation Overtime.
Welcome back. Looking ahead eventually here to Villanova. Roger, you've been in the radio booth. Trace your history real quick. When was your first game in the radio booth? Or you were the PA announcer?
I was a PA announcer, and I had produced the Coaches Roundtable show in the mid-'80s up to 1990 when I went into the radio booth.
Yeah, and you guys have undergone some pregame show changes in addition to being across the field.
Yeah, well, besides being across the field from you.
From us, yeah, we don't see you in the lunchroom anymore.
No.
There's no lunchroom anymore.
There's no lunchroom.
For you guys.
None for us.
No water.
Yeah.
Geneva Conventions you come into play.
BYOW, baby. Yeah, that's what it is. I enjoy Christian Hackenberg and Jason Kabinda's Stream TV show. A couple of great players really get inside the nuts and bolts of each room of the Penn State football team, and they bring out the best of that during the course of their 1-hour pregame show. It's on an hour before ours. Our pregame show is about what it's been, taking calls from people and getting the insight from Steve and Jack and Brian Tripp. It's a good pregame package overall.
And, to be there with Steve and Jack, I mean, you're clearly in the presence of 2 all-time greats as far as how they call the game and how you understand the game.
Jack, of course, a college and pro Hall of Famer. Steve Jones, the Enfield, Connecticut Hall of Famer. They're just wonderful to work with. When Jack comes in to the booth, they'll go over what they saw at practice. And Steve and Jack go to practice. And they talk to Coach Franklin, position coaches. They'll talk to a couple of kids and really get a feel for where the team is headed, how they're gelling or not, in some cases this past week. But they bring that out on the radio, and it's just a good show. I would rate the Penn State Sports Network as one of the best, most complete in the country.
I think Tripp is underrated too.
Don't forget Brian.
I mean,
my gosh, no.
You guys have gone through multiple sideline reporters,
Yeah.
and Brian has kind of stabilized that. Not that negative toward anybody else, but I think he's done a really great job.
Plus, he could call hockey, so he's
Yeah,
a skilled
there you go.
play-by-play guy. News last week, Penn State, after 30-plus years of being affiliated with Nike, switched over to Adidas. They're calling it a transformational move, 10-year commitment. Go ahead and pick it up.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, Penn State had that long relationship. I had a chance to talk to Spider Caldwell, longtime equipment man, now works at the university in another capacity. But he was telling me when he was a student manager, they were one of the first teams to wear Nike cleats, and I think it was '83.
Yeah.
There were 4 teams that did it. So it's the end of an era, but it's what it's all about now. I mean, from what I understand, Adidas has a much more robust NIL situation for athletes that they're going to be able to participate in, and this is the new world that we're into. I mean, whether you love Nike or hate Nike, Penn State has to do what's best for Penn State in terms of generating revenue and putting players in male, female, you name it, in the best situation NIL-wise.
And you mentioned Spider. Of course, he's been in as a guest in NitWits before, and we got him scheduled later this season. Love Spider. I think that's also, the way I was reading, will benefit their other sports in addition.
Yeah, well, that's what I mean. I mean, NIL opportunities not just for football, but for men's and women's sports. So it's the new normal. I mean, you have to make money where you're able to make money. It's not. I don't think it's a coincidence that Tennessee is doing the exact same thing. Not the exact same thing. I think Penn State's deal may be even more robust, but Tennessee's doing it, and you're going to see different. You're going to see more changes with teams in their apparel deals, because I just think it's an opportunity again to generate more revenue.
Well, I see you're still in the old guard. So
what are you
that's
wearing?
Good. Well, I don't have any.
Is that a whale? Are those for Joe's whale pants?
Joe's whale
That's what it
pants.
was, yeah.
I was part of the estate, right? Okay, we're going to take another break and be back with our Villanova predictions.
The NitWits are being brought to you by the Leo Games, serving the community since 1945. By Keller Engineers, delivering results exceeding expectations. By Lions 24/7 with Fight On State, your online home for Penn State football and recruiting coverage. And by the Altoona Mirror, featuring Penn State game day every Friday and Penn State Extra every Monday.
You're watching Nittany Nation Overtime.
How about this? Wow. This is history in the making, 28 years. And it was, I don't think that the guest has ever, I've checked with Mike Irwin on this, had a 2-game lead.
I don't think they've ever won 2 in a row. I mean, that's unbelievable.
Steve Smear, Joe Nastasi. Hey, the honorary captain. Wasn't that neat to see him?
That was absolutely great. He was up there with his little daughter Jazz, having a lot of fun, so it was cool.
So Joe Nastasi and Steve Smear have, you're out of the gate, Roger. No pressure.
No.
Villanova coming in this week, so we haven't seen a line yet as we record this, but it's going to be high.
You want to score?
Yeah, that's what we're working toward.
I'll give you 55-7.
Oh my, decisive. Okay, Raj.
I think it's going to be another 100% trip to the red zone. I don't think we'll see Barker as much with the Villanova team. I just look forward to, if you're going to have a bad game like they did last week, get it out of your system now. Good stuff is on the way, and Villanova is coming into a hornet's nest, I think. Okay, I'll go next because you gave Smear a break and then it backfired by 1 point, no less. I don't know. I thought they left a lot of points on the field against Nevada, and I feel the same way about this game, FIU. So I picked 62-3 last week. I'm going to stick with that.
Wow.
Okay? They got to get it together here before the bye week because you saw what Oregon's capable of doing.
Well, then I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to go.
Don't land on me.
No. I'm going to not admit my mistakes. I'm going with the same pick from last week, 51-6. I think it's incumbent on them to get things dialed in before the bye week and before the Oregon game. And I think the coaching staff's going to realize that. One thing, I think they may have been playing a little bit close to the vest these first couple weeks,
sure.
But now it's real. It's kind of put up or shut up, and if you don't prove you could do it against Villanova. So I think it's going to be a relatively easy win, 51-6.
Yeah, you may want to unbutton the vest a little bit. Villanova did defeat Colgate 24-7. I did look. Villanova seats about 12,000, so it's a kind of big culture shock for them, but hey, they've always had a great athletic program there. Like to see them playing them in basketball.
That would be fun, yeah.
Okay, Roger, thanks for the visit.
Neil, Mark, thank you very much. Always a pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Appreciate it, and enjoy the first weekend of the NFL as well.
I already have.
Okay, right. All right, thank you for watching, and we'll see you next week.
The NitWits have been brought to you by Irwin Financial, Raymond James, a firm foundation for your financial future. By Reed and Selaney Orthodontics, providing friendly, family-focused orthodontic care in Altoona, Bedford, and Huntington. By Kogan Electric, lighting the way for you. By Blair Candy Company, the one-stop shop for all your tailgating needs. Candy, snacks, paper supplies, and more. By Dorman's Jewelry, The answer is always Dorman's. By Harry's Construction. If you can dream it, we can create it. By DeLeo Games, serving the community since 1945. By Keller Engineers, delivering results, exceeding expectations. By Lions 24/7 with Fight on State, your online home for Penn State football and recruiting coverage. And by the Altoona Mirror, featuring Penn State Game Day every Friday and Penn State Extra every Monday. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next week.